Hi, everybody. It's Angel. How are you? We're getting into the holiday seasons. So, my name is Angel Morgan. I'm the host of my show, and we are going to be talking about today how to energetically activate your holidays. We're going to have a lot of fun. My show is all about everything energetic and psychic and how you can apply this to your everyday life. If you want to know more about us right off the bat, it's raisingenergy.com. And I also have a blog, which is mypsychiclifestyle.com, which is going to be really, really important this season. Next few weeks, you're going to be finding a lot of the stuff that we talk about on our blog. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So it's psychic lifestyle.com, and you guys can check out our blog. So for those of you just joining us, hi everybody. Hi Blake. Hi Noel. It's so nice to see you. We have our regular guests, and then we have our new people, our new viewers. So just to let you know how this show runs, we talk about our topic every week, which changes. Sometimes we have guests. This week we're talking about how to energetically activate your holiday season and your home. And literally we're going to be working with beautiful holiday magic. In the coming weeks, we're going to have a lot of guests, and we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. It's going to be really, really great. In the second half of our show, we will be doing psychic readings, as I do every week. And one of the reasons a lot of people have been asking me, why do I do this for free? That just seems so unusual for a reader to do. It actually isn't. The reason that I do it particularly is because I like to give back. I have a very fortunate life, especially in this time. I have a lot of wonderful clients, a lot of people seeking answers, but there are those who sometimes can't afford it. And there are also those who have never experienced it. So this is their way of trying. And I've actually expanded this into Instagram, and our Instagram page is at Raising Energy. You'll find me there as well. And every once in a while, I am now doing readings there there too. I'm pretty readily available. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, everything is at our website, raisingenergy.com. I work with guides, guardians, angels, archangels. I'm a free for all. So the difference with me is that if somebody wants to come in and they're still alive, I let them come in. So dead or alive doesn't make a difference. And I'm also an animal communicator. So I do talk to animals. And this is part of what we're going to be talking about today. But first, I want to say some hellos. Stephanie McDonald, hello. Cindy Hobden, hello. Charlie Den, hi. Alicia, Mary, Denise. Oh, wow. Look at all these wonderful people who are already here. This is exciting. Okay. Today's topic. Today's topic is going to be how to energetically activate your home. Now, what does that mean? Now, everybody knows I live or try to live an energetic lifestyle. And what does it mean to live an energetic lifestyle? To put it very simply, you live through feel. And again, that's another way of stating it. I live a feel lifestyle, at least I attempt to. And I say that because I'm human and I do fall off the energetic wagon sometimes, but living a feel lifestyle to me is really, really important because what we feel becomes real. Okay. I kind of shifted from my train of thought of, thoughts are things. They are. Thoughts are things, but that originates from the feel. The feel comes first. So for me, what we feel becomes real. And let's see, Noelle says, thank you. Sorry, she says, what? Thank you, what? Thank you for telling me that my newborn will be in good hands and fine due to her condition. We got the greatest news yesterday. Thank you. I kept myself positive about her condition due to your helpful words almost a year ago. Noelle, thank you. I really, really, really appreciate that. She says, I was not worried or surprised that she's okay. Well, hugs back, virtual hug for everybody. Bruce, hi, how are you? This is wonderful when we get feedback on the show. I love that. Just simply because not only does it legitimize the work that I do, because that is very important to me. One of my mandates in this path I've chosen is to, and that's another reason I do this show, is to show the legitimacy of the work. Because a lot of the people that I read, I don't know. Even if I've read them before, they could be on a new vibration. It opens up something brand new for them. So that's another reason. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the holiday season. And living a feel lifestyle is really, really, really important for this particular episode. Because Christmas, the holidays, Hanukkah, all the holidays, Kwanzaa, they're all of them are about feeling the peace and the unity of the time. And what better year to really truly understand that? Because we have had isolation, because we have had all of these interesting things happening in our year of 2020, it's a really amazing time to be able to learn how to connect without necessarily physically connecting, how to give gifts through our energy. This is really, really important. And one of the things that we can do is heighten our energy for others in our family or in our tribe or in our circle. Now, why does that matter? Because when we lift our vibration, others can actually feel it, whether they're in the room or not. If they're connected to us, they can actually feel that. So I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday who was out with somebody new. And one of the first things he said to me, which is so cool, was I felt the person's energy before I even met them. And that actually happened to me with my fiance. The night that I met him, I was actually ready to leave. I was in a really weird space. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm done. I'm finished. I'm out of here. And all of a sudden there was this feeling that came over me, and the person I was with came up to me and she said, "What's going on?" She was psychic as well. And I said, "I don't know, but something's coming." And within a half an hour, he actually arrived at the place that we were in. And within minutes of that, I met him. So you can actually feel other people that are coming into your life or that are in your life. So this is really important as a foundation for this particular episode. And I will be talking about that again a little bit later. Debbie, hello. Stephanie says, yes, I really want to connect without doing anything risky. Okay, so yeah, and that's the thing. And I don't think that just applies to this year. There are those in our lives that we may have turmoil with, or people that we have that may not be willing to have us in our lives. Like if you have somebody in your life who is in a bad space, they may not be wanting to have people around. Yes. Or the opposite, you maybe have people alone in your life that you know of, like friends who don't have family that you really want to connect to. And yes, we have FaceTime. Yes, we have Zoom. Yes, we have Messenger. But what about that moment when they're sitting alone in their room and you're thinking about them at home and it's Christmas? What can you do? What is there to be able to, what can you do to be able to feel empowered and to send that love and to send that joy and to send that happiness? We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about some really fun things. And you're actually going to meet a little friend of mine as well. I love him. He's my favorite. And we're going to talk about activating, physically, energetically activating things to make your home feel like not only Christmas, but like Santa has come to town. Okay. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that. So yes, so let's start. Who out there, and hands up, give me loves, give me likes, all that kind of stuff. Let me know who out there has people who have crossed over that they think about at Christmas time. Or during the holidays. I like to say during the holidays because I want this to be full encompassing. So who out there has people that they think about? Alicia, you're talking about your kindred brother who has passed. And that's actually one of the things that made me think about it. Doing a shout out to him. That's awesome. I love that. She wants to do a shout out to her brother's birthday today, who has her kindred brother whose birthday it is today. Shout out. You know, these are the things that we want to be able to think about. So who has people out there who have crossed over that they think about at Christmas? I'm sure we all do. And this doesn't just talk about people. We're talking about our animal companions as well, our pet pals. And everybody knows we talk about pet pals. Now, here's the thing. Ran into a person the other day. I was actually talking to someone via Zoom, and they had mentioned somebody else. I hadn't seen them in a while, so I Zoomed her. And we started talking. She goes, first of all, she is a horticulturist. So her plants are her family. I really missed my orchid from 3 years ago. I loved her, but they're so fleeting. La, 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 la. So this goes beyond also animals and people. This goes to plants. This goes to stones that we may have had, things that we may have had. So this year at the holidays, I know it's going to sound really odd, but why don't you sit down and think about what you miss? And nothing is silly. It could be a stone that you had when you were a little girl that said love or hope or peace, or little boy. It could be your favorite blanket from you were a baby. Oh, thank you. That was a really lovely, inspiring vision. It could be a favorite blanket. I know my fiance still has his communion dress. How cool is that? Usually in my family, it's the women who carry these things, but he actually still has his. So just remembering who you were as a child, right? And sending love to that inner child. I'm going to show you how to do that today. I think that's really, really important because that inner child still exists. That inner child is still with us. I wore a turtleneck because it's Christmas, and now I'm like, oh, I can see the steam coming out of my holy mother in heaven. I think I'm going to open a window if I can. I'm not even strong enough to okay, so I'm just going to fare through it. So the reality is, yeah, that's awesome. Denise says we have cherished family ornaments through the year. And that's a great one, Denise. I'm going to keep that one for a little bit later because we're going to do something special with those special objects. Denise says my mom and dad, especially around the holidays. And then Debbie says my best buddy, now 3 years, miss him. Okay. Our dog 4 years ago. I still think of one of the first dogs that I ever had. Even at Fiesta del Muerte, we always called him in because he was one of our dearest to bring in. So these are really important things for us to understand. So how do we do this? We can do this in so many ways. But before we get there, I want to do something special and talk about the things that we bring into our present day lives because it will connect later on to those we love. Okay, we're gonna connect to them. We are going to get to that. I'm going to show you what you can do to connect to your loved ones. But before that, so you got to stay tuned, stay till the end of the show because it is going to be somewhere in here. The time that we're in right now is a time of decorating. The beginning, the Christmas tree and the Hanukkah candles and, all the wonderful ornaments that we have. And we're breaking out our boxes and we're all excited to get those lights up on our house. This is that wonderful part of the year. In Toronto, because I know some of my clients are in the States and in Europe, here in Mississauga, where I am, we actually had our first snowfall yesterday. And I watched the snow melting off the trees. It was quite beautiful. All of these things create memories. And that's a really wonderful thing. But what about inside your home? You want to create that feeling of Christmas, that feeling of the holidays. And one of the things that I used to do, you're ahead of me, Denise. One of the things I used to do is I used to go up to the forests and I used to get cedar boughs and pine needle boughs. And I used to make my decorations. This year, not so much. I actually have done something different. I'm going to talk to you about that. But I have done those in the past. I like to create. I'm very creative. So most of the things in my home are built. And so I would go out and do that. In fact, 2 years ago, I went out and I thought, I'm in a forest that has no cedar. It's all pine. So I gathered my pine, which was really fun. And all of a sudden I heard go down this particular road. And I went down that road. I was familiar with the area. And didn't a farmer just cull his tree. He just brought his hedges back, and they were all of the cedar sitting in a ditch. And I thought, oh my God, this is gonna be a sweet Christmas. So I piled so much of this cedar into my car, like you could smell it. It was so beautiful. And I brought it home, and I created all of these different things. But one of the little things I did, one of the things that I really love doing is activating my objects. And I found various ways over the years to do that. Some are really easy, some are really complex. When I first started, I created a healing circle. For those of you who are pagan, it would be a ritual circle. Regardless, these are labels. And what I used to do is I create a healing circle, and I would bring everything into that circle. And I thought, oh, this is so much fun. I have all my stuff around me. I wish I had taken pictures. And in this circle, I would light my candles, and I would call on whatever energies were necessary, deities, angels, guides, guardians who wanted to be present. And I would ask them to bless all of the different objects that I had with earth, air, water, and fire. And what I would do is I would take a little okay, I kind of cheat because I do have sands of Cairo, like literal sands of Cairo, and I would use a little bit of that earth, right? And I would just kind of use that over for earth. And for fire, I had a smudge going, so I put that over my smudge, which really represents all four, but still I would cleanse and clear, and that would represent my earth, or my air, actually. And then I would have fire, which was an incense, and I would use that as fire because all of the herbs in there were representations of fire. Now, how do you know which herbs are representative of fire? You can actually go online and look up herbal correspondences. Okay, herbal correspondences. And yes, I would put down Wicca, because they're the best ones for understanding this stuff. It has nothing to do with spirituality, it has nothing to do with religion. They just have really good info. In fact, there's a wonderful book that I love called Cunningham's Cunning. You'll have to excuse me if I spell this wrong. Cunningham's, there we go. Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. This is amazing just simply because it has all the correspondences. You can get it on Kindle. You can get it digitally now, so it's really wonderful. But most practitioners who work with herbs in any way from any culture, this has become a staple. And it's really wonderful because they'll show you the folklore. It'll give you the planetary correspondences. It'll give you the herbal correspondences. It'll give you the gender of a plant, because plants actually do have gender, and it'll give you the element that is connected. It's beautiful. I absolutely adore this book. And here I am. I always think I have everything I need, and there's always something more that comes up for everybody. If you know this book, let me know, because I know it's a really, really popular book. If it's still open, which I think it is, you can get it at the Hedgewitch for those of you who are out in that area of town, which is around Newmarket Sharon. In Toronto, Spiritual Emporium may be able to order it for if you want to go in and get it personally. There are tons of places to get it. So once you have what element that is, you can use the herbs and a little bit of incense, and you create an incense, and you can use that as fire. And for water, again, a little glass of water. Make it easy. Or maybe you have some stones and pass it over the water and ask those deities, energies, God, whatever you choose and whatever vibe you're on, to work to bless those particular things. For those of you who are very creative, one of the things you can do is blend oils. Oils, like herbs, have correspondences. I use Cunningham's for oils as well as the herbs. Although there are books out there for oils, I'm a very simple person. I'm a minimalist, so I love my books, but I try not to have as many, like a lot. So I use that one as well. And it's great. And then you have to ask yourself, what is it that I want to bring in this holiday? What is my theme? What is that? Is it peace this year? Is it love this year? Is it a childlike wonder this year? Sit down and really think about what your year has been. Is it memories, right? All of these different things are very important to energetic activation, because the more specific you are, the more that's going to imbue your home with that beautiful feeling that you have. So it could be animal magic, it could be anything, friendship. If you want them all, just bring in one statement. Oh, I love this statement. Bring in, I'm going to say it until I write it. Bring in, oh, and it didn't even write. Oh, seriously, people? Bring in the wonders of the holiday. Okay, so you just want to bring that in, wonders of the holiday, and let the universe decide what it is your home needs this year. Wonders of the holiday, bring it in. Okay, so a really, really interesting thing is that I've noted that when things are specific, all of a sudden, everything starts to conspire to bring it to you. So if you activate for friendship, all of a sudden more friends are calling. If you activate it for love, you might have some more romantic moments. If you activate it for childlike wonder, more giggles in the house, right? All of a sudden you're craving presents from your past. My sister came up with a great idea this year. She found one, I couldn't believe it, for my nephew. And it was something from our past, which was a toy called the Snoopy Snow Cone Maker. If anybody knows the Snoopy Snow Cone Maker, I want to know. Give me hearts, give me hands, because that was like my obsession. In fact, I found one about 10 years ago and I loved it. So I'm getting him that. So you can bring in, childlike wonder. All of a sudden, all of these things that you had from your childhood, people will bring up. Or maybe you'll even get a Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Oh, I'm dating myself. Cabbage Patch Kids. Garbage Pail Kids stickers. I remember those. Puffy stickers. Anybody remember puffy stickers? Smelly stickers? What do you remember? Put them in the comments. I want to hear your childhood presents and things like that. I love hearing about stuff like that, especially vintage stuff. So please put it down in the comments, because I'm sure we'll all get a kick out of that. So for me this year, it's the energy of joy, just laughter and fun. I need it because I've been feeling the energy of this year and how people are trying to find ways to really invigorate themselves and motivate themselves. And I need some help with that too. So I'm going to be activating everything that way this year. One of the most fun things that I do every year too is I create a centerpiece on my table with the decorations that I already have, and I will put that in a post later on today. Easy Bake Oven. Oh my God, I remember the Easy Bake Oven. Holy mother! I'm such a terrible cook that I used to burn things in my Easy Bake Oven. Oh wow, Holly Hobby. I could go the entire show with this. Trolls. I remember that. I remember troll pencils. You remember those? You go like that and the hair. If you're really young and watching this, I'm really sorry. Us old folks are having a way too good time. Strawberry shortcake. So all of these different things when you look at childlike wonder. So then I grew. And as I grew, I realized I didn't have to bring all my stuff into Circle with me. Wait a second. All I had to do was sit in my home somewhere that was comfortable, close my eyes, and bring in the energy that I was requiring into everything in my home. The bed, my terrarium for my animals, me, everything, not just those small items. I became focused. My focus became a little bit more expansive. So how did I do that? Now I don't have a circle. I'm not necessarily calling on deities and energies. Now what I did was I closed my eyes, I placed my left hand out, and I literally called in. And you can do this. I call in whatever energy is necessary to be activated in my home for the holidays, to make them spectacular, wonderful, peaceful, joyful, and everything else that the universe wants for my family this year. Okay. Now, you don't have to use those words. I'm not going to write them down, and you can go back and watch the show, but you have it in your hand, and then you place it in the ground. Because when you do that, you can actually, I do anyway, I feel it racing through the floors, through the windows, through the walls, and it's really exciting. So you put out your left hand, you close your eyes. I ask for whatever energy to be activated within my home that can create all of these different things and better and more in my home these holidays for my family and I. Yes? And put us on that vibration too, right? Put that on our vibration. So you can say whatever you want, place it in the ground. I like to blow to activate things, simply because the South Americans believe that everything begins on a breath and it ends on a breath, and everything in between is a breath. So when we come to life and we come in the delivery room, our first breath, and when we pass, we take our last breath, and everything in between is the breath of life. Old Nintendo, big one. It's a really cool thing. Light Bright. I actually may order one now that I loved Light Bright. I love Light Bright. I so love Light Bright. Simon, remember Simon pushing I'm sorry, I'm so caught up in that. So that's another easy way of bringing in all of those energies into your home. And this is what I kind of graduated to. So as I became stronger on my path and more experienced on my path, I started to expand the way I worked and expand my view. Then I started to realize, well, wait a second. This year, and this was, I think, a year or two later, I started to realize if I can activate that within my home, why can't I send that energy to the home of the ones I love? Mm-hmm. So then I did the same thing for me, and then I created a second, what I call energy ball. I closed my eyes. I ask for all of that energy that is necessary as a gift for those loved ones that I have, friends and family and animals alike, to have whatever they want and need this holiday season. And I called for that energy in my hand, right? Help them be open to receiving. And then I placed it in the ground. So all I did was shift my focus again. So I did one for us, right? And then I did one for my friends and family. And then I started to become more socially oriented because I had a little boy and we were homeschooling. And it was really cool because what happened was we started working in a food bank. And that was his homeschool thing, right? And usually they don't let kids do that for various reasons, but because he was homeschooling, they made the exception. And it was really, really cool. And I remember him coming, going, "Mommy, I got my first paycheck. And he came running with a can of Coca-Cola. That was his first paycheck. I thought that was so cool, by the way. Lynn says, one year we all got our own toy chests. My siblings and I have all kept ours throughout all the different stages of our lives. 40 odd years later, we still have them. Oh my God, that makes me want to cry. Like literally, that makes me want to cry. And that's a good one. My sister is very creative, and she bought an unpainted raw chest, and it was long, and it had this beautiful lid, and she painted Puss in Boots on the top of it for my son, and that's where he always kept his toys. And so that's a great one. So those are wonderful gifts too. We're going to talk a little bit about gifts and how you can activate those gifts on a highly energetic level. So Lynn, thank you. We're going to segue into that as well. Then we became socially aware. So guess what? I added a third energy ball. Now at this point too, 3 became a very important number to me. So I thought that's fantastic. So what I did was I put out my left hand. I called in for my family. Then I called in for my friends and family, and then I became more expansive. I started to call in for whoever out there needs the love and joy and peace of the holiday season, the healing of the holiday season. Animals and humans alike, wherever they are in the world and on the earth and beyond. This and something better. And I placed it. Now, here's the catch. I'm doing it right now. As I say this and I call in, understand it's happening. Okay. I will do this more formally later, but it actually is that simple to take a few minutes to be able to call in. And every time somebody watches this, that actually strengthens the work I do because it's again shown, it's again spoken. And spoken is important. The words we use are so integral to the life we lead and create for ourselves. I'll address that one later. So, hello, I'm wondering. Okay, so we're going to address readings a little bit later because we want to kind of do this. Oh, it is we're halfway through. That's really cool. So that's the first thing we're doing. So let's do a couple of readings before we continue. Let me see. Let's go back a little bit so I can find some. I have a board game, just wondering. Okay, so I'm looking at Vanessa, and her mom has a healing issue, and if it's going to get better. I do see it getting better, but this is an emotional issue she's working through, an energetic issue, not connected to past lives. This is something, and I keep seeing a naturopath can help with this. Homeopathics won't help it, but a naturopath could do the job for her because this goes deeper. But this is definitely an emotional issue. One of the things you might want to consider too, Vanessa, is You Can Heal Your Body, which is a book by Louise Hay. And in using that, what you can do is you can actually find what your mother's ailments are, the emotional connection to it, maybe talk to her about it. And then there is an affirmation. You can do this for her, or she can do it herself, right? So include it in your prayers and your energy work. Even do a Reiki for her. So I'm assuming you have a Reiki level or two, but you can also Reiki what she's doing. So that's another thing you can do is gift people with healing, right? Gift them, like I said to Vanessa, or like I said about the house, the way you call in energy for your home and the healing and then you can also use for yourself and others. But we will get to that with the gift giving part. Yes, Alicia, I remember that game too. That was the Doctor game. I think that was really cool. Okay, so what's this? Sacred, yes, scribes and numbers. Yes, that's a good one. Excellent. So once those three things were done, I started to think about special things I had in my life and special ways I could activate the things I gave to people. So let's take a look at my sister's toy box. As she's painting, a lot of old ones would have chanted, right? So I made a ribbon one time. It was a braided ribbon. And with each braid, I actually created a little rhyme of love and healing and joy for the person I was making it with. And by the end, it was really, really long. And I tied it at the end. And I actually tied their gift with it. And I gave them the gift stating that the ribbon itself was a gift to be kept. And we talked about it and that kind of stuff. And they loved it. They were in tears, more over the ribbon than they were even over the gift. And so these are the kinds of things you can do. So when you are making something, what is the intention that you have while you were making it? Okay. When you have an intention, that's really, really big. That energy goes into the gift. So if you're making a meal for somebody, this is why mom's meal always tastes different than everybody else's, because of the love and intention they have and the energy they're putting into it. When they're stirring that pot, it's like a little witch's brew. That energy goes down the hand, it goes into the spoon, and it goes into the pot. And if you're right-handed, that's your giving hand, right? So if you're right-handed, your giving is the right. If you're left-handed, it's the opposite. Your left is the giving hand, and then the right is the receiving. So for you, for us, when we stir those pots, think about what you want to activate the food with. Think about what it is you intend when you're creating something for somebody. Okay, really, really important. So here is a wonderful little friend of mine, who is kind of like a second boyfriend. But he has a lot of energy and he has a lot of life. And this is my friend. Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Je suis, je lui. Sorry, I know I'm a little kooky. This has a very special story attached to it. We were in a store And I'm allowed one Christmas decoration, one big Christmas decoration a year, and which is good. And so that year I found Jean-Louis, and Carl says, no, 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 you are not bringing, no, no. And I said, but he loves this look. And I kept leaving and coming back and leaving it. And I was so attracted to him. And all of a sudden I went, bonjour. I heard, bonjour, I'm Jean-Louis from Rocky Mountain, BC. And I started playing about and I started teasing him. Oh, you're jealous. I am the new boyfriend. And he started laughing. He couldn't help himself. I started laughing. And there was this old Italian woman and her daughter, and they started laughing. And the more they laughed, the more Carl couldn't say no. So, of course, he became a part of our family. And so every year we expand his family. He has a little brother at my sister's house who actually is a hockey player, Nutcracker. My little nephew has one too. So every year we create a family for him. So energetically, he is about family. And that's every time we take him out, this is what we see. So we can imbue these things just by having fun with them. However, one of the things I did the second year that we had him was I actually imbued him with a life of his own. And this kind of magic is the kind of magic that children imbue on their toys when they're little. What we don't realize is when a child loves a very specific toy, they're actually bringing it to life, kind of a Winnie the Pooh thing. And so I love Jean-Louis. And so that year I held him very close and I asked and gave permission to all those of the light to imbue him with a spirit of his own, that anybody who saw him and laid their eyes on him would feel the feeling of family, right? And every time I say that, I actually blow that into the top of his head because that's where our intuition, this is where spirit comes from. So I love him. So you can do that and then gift that to someone. What is it that particular toy or ornament or what have you reminds you of? And then like someone was saying earlier that they have the old, I believe it was Denise, the ornaments that we carried when we were younger. These ornaments can be something. This is a brand new ornament that I'm actually using in my centerpiece this year. And this particular ornament is just color. It's color and life and trees and outdoors and forest. And that's what I really love about it. So that's what it represents for me. So you can take things from your past, like an old ornament, and you can imbue them, right, with history. I invoke and activate this ornament with the history of my family. Bring it to life every time it is placed upon a tree. Ho! So now every time this is on a tree, this is going to bring out that history that our families have. It'll bring out stories. It'll bring out memories. It will collect every year's memory. Now, I have several of these. I don't mind losing this within the bunch of ornaments so it becomes its own little thing, right? I love that. I love that idea. So lose it within the ones that look just like it. That's kind of becomes the mystery ornament, right? Let's see, what have we got here? Oh my goodness, look at all of this. This is wonderful. Noelle says, any information that I, Keith, Mindy, Aurora, or Brianna, or close family need to know currently? Yeah, there's a dog coming. Everybody's got their own something coming, it seems. Yes, you have a dog coming. So that's your something. I'm seeing it this winter, but I'm not sure exactly when. Okay. Also, love my enthusiasm, says Debbie. Okay, so I didn't grab it. So if you guys give me 30 seconds, I do have something special that really, really will kind of make this make sense. All of it makes sense. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. See, less than 30 seconds. Everything's working beautifully. I'm so happy I'm back. Okay, so this was made by a friend of mine who's a client, who was also a client, and she worked really hard on it. Now look at this. Look at this. Now, what more says I love you? What more says you are important to me? This kind of thing sends me over the moon. I love this. Live simply. And look at how detailed it is with the color. And she colors exactly the same way I do, which I think is just so very cool. And these kinds of things you can even find in a dollar store, like in a coloring book, right? And you can cut them out and put them in a frame. How simple is that? But her intention is quite clear. So this sits on my office table on my side and actually separates the two desks, because this reminds me every day what my life needs to be. And I'm finding that that is my mentality more and more. So thank you, Debbie Marco, for giving this to me this year. It's such a beautifully intended thing and so simple, so simple. Okay, so if you have questions, please give me your questions. Is the mystery of my husband's health issues going to be solved soon? Yeah, that's past life stuff. That just needs to be resolved. He needs to let it go, I'm hearing. And all he has to do is say, you know what, I resolve it. I acknowledge that it's there. I acknowledge that it needs to be let go. And there's past life stuff. And you're going to find that he's actually going to become way more peaceful, Linda. So this is for Linda Hall. Okay, so do you feel a dark shadow around me? Renee, no, I definitely don't. However, what I do feel is you do need to cleanse and clear because you're carrying a lot of stuff. And that can feel like a dark shadow and it can feel heavy. So I was really depressed the last couple of days. Couldn't figure it out. Didn't understand it. Didn't feel like mine. Didn't feel like Jay. Didn't feel like Carl. Didn't feel like anything. And I thought, okay, maybe it's the time. It wasn't the time. I'm muscle testing it. So then what I did was this morning, I did a cleansing and clearing. And I keep forgetting how important that is. That's my flaw. That's my fatal flaw as an energy worker. And now I feel fantastic. Like I feel so good. So that's the other thing you can do for your home is cleanse and clear it. Do a December 21st is the solstice. It is the longest night of the year. It's the day when the light becomes longer for us. Usually what we do is we stay up all night. We used to have big tree that we would hang ornaments on, like candy ornaments and stuff for the animals, which I really loved. We actually might do that again this year. We have a big tree outside. Oh my God, what a great idea. That is something that you need to do every month at least. And that's something you can go under the moon. You don't have to use a smudge, go under the moon. I ask and give permission to the moon and all of her energies to cleanse and clear me from head to toe and toe to head. That's it. Nice and simple. You can ask Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael. I ask and give permission to Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael to heal me from head to toe and toe to head, to cleanse and clear me and do whatever is necessary to keep me healthy, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Okay, something like that. As long as you're calling on them, this and something better. Now, whenever I do work of any kind, it's this and something better. So let's flash forward a little bit. We're here now, 2020, 2018, 2019. I start to learn more deep work and the work that I'm doing. So now I'm starting to go, okay, well, what about those who've crossed over? Yes. Now this has become a very important part of my work and the ancestors. So now what I do is I will do my 3. Okay, that's just fun. And then I sit down and I call on my ancestors. I ask and give permission to all those of the light to open the gate to my ancestors, to those who have crossed over, so they can hear my voice and feel my spirit this holiday. That they may know that I love them, know them, remember them, and wish them whatever it is they need to find peace and move forward and better. That's it. That's it. And again, it doesn't have to be extravagant. Use your own words. It's intent. It's all about intent. Okay, so Teresa, hi Angel, is 2021 going to be a better year for me? Thank you. I think 2021 is going to be a really good year for you, but understand there is going to be some challenges that will happen, especially on the financial end, but nothing that you can't figure out. And that's going to come probably at the beginning of the year. Maybe it's because things slow down or whatever. It'll kind of race you until you'll be racing with that and chasing it until about April, mid-April. I see things shifting and starting to really level out for you. Denise says, does my dad come through and say anything? He passed from cancer at home in 2019. He's smiling. And I feel warmth. I feel his heart. And it's really funny what I'm hearing. Even though you were his daughter, I feel, Denise, he's saying that you were such a good friend to me. He saw you as so much more than you are. And that's also a past life connection that you two had. Okay, what else? Let me see. Just trying to think. Let's see who else has got here. Okay, so I promised you at the beginning of the show that we were going to talk about how to call in ancestors, how to create energetic power and enhancement in your home. Well, we're at that part of the show. So what you can do for your home this holiday, get a candle. Okay, this one's very Christmassy, but doesn't have to be. Okay, any color you like. I love reds because they're really active, whites because it's divinity. Those two colors are very good for me. This one actually smells, oh God, it smells like vanilla. I absolutely love it. And greens are good for healing. Okay, just so you know. So what you can do, take your candle, one candle, that's it. Place your hands around it. Actually, let's even start from the beginning. Yeah, let's do this. No, you know what? Wait. Oh, thank you. That's very inspiring. So when you have a candle, it doesn't have to be scented. Okay, if it is, that's fine. If you have a non-scented candle, there are different kinds of oils that you can use with it. Take the oil and rub it, if it's under glass, on the glass itself, or even on top, which is fine. Pines are really good. Myrrh and frankincense are very traditional. Anything that you like. Again, go look at your correspondences, look at the stuff that you can find there. And what you do is you just rub it on the candle. You can even etch. So if you have something sharp, like a little knife or something, what you can do is you can actually write love, peace, joy, right? You can even put your name in there, or someone from your family's name, or my family, love, peace, joy, all that kind of stuff. I love doing things like that. One of my favorite colors at this time of year is silver. So silver bells, all that kind of stuff. It's very Christmassy. Whites are really good. Silvers can be difficult to find, and chime candles are awesome because chime candles only last for about an hour. So you can get a little chime candle if you want, and you can light this. But what I like to do is I like to etch it right from, so I go from top to bottom. Okay. And I love that because as it melts and as it burns down, the mythology or theory is that the energy activates more and more and strengthens more and more. Okay. So what we do then is we've etched, and then we've put some oil in it. For those of you who really want to go further, you can actually roll it in herbs as well, which is something I love to do, which gives it a beautiful look. And then you take it in your hand. Okay. I ask and give permission to all those of the light to activate this candle with whatever is necessary to bring to my home this night. Oh, or you can use whatever you want. Okay, it doesn't have to rhyme. Whatever you want to activate it with, it will activate on the breath. You can say whatever you want. It'll activate on the breath. Even this little candle will imbue the entire home. Someone had mentioned earlier as well, sage candles are readily available. You can get them online. You can get them at curiosity shops, new age shops. Some organic health food stores will carry them too. Sage candles are really beautiful. If you can't find a sage candle, sage oil is so readily available. Clary sage, I have clary sage, which is not sage, but it's good. You can use birch. You can use anything. Birch is a good one because that's about messages to God, and people actually, and that's another thing you can do, which I absolutely love. On Christmas Eve, one year, we took a parchment paper, like parchment from, not parchment, birch tree bark, and we actually wrote down a letter to Santa Claus on the birch, because my son already understood that when you write a letter on a piece of birch, that it will always get heard. So even if you don't have a child, what you might want to do is write a letter. Write a letter to the spirits above, to your ancestors about Christmas, or just a thank you letter, or a Merry Christmas letter to someone that you miss. Alicia, you were talking about your kindred brother, right? And you can do that on Christmas Eve. That is something that I absolutely love as well. So here are some ideas for you. Or maybe instead of a card for somebody this year, get a piece of parchment, birch, and write it down on the birch itself. The other thing you can do is, if you're really creative, you can find pictures of birch or birch trees online, and you can use that and create a digital card for everybody this year. So again, what happens if you have something digital because we're not, connecting with people on a physical level perhaps this year? What you can do is you can actually look at the screen, the digital screen, and you can intend what's there. I intend this particular, or I activate this letter of the birch, which I love and care about, to send out this message to all those I love so that they can feel it as soon as they open it, something like that. But again, it's intent. As you are creating, even digitally, you have an intent and think about that intent, feel that intent as you're creating. So when you look at an artist's piece of work, a picture, a painting, the Mona Lisa, Leonard Asimov, who I really, really like. These particular, George Seurat, if you look at any of these paintings, there is a feeling, and each one feels different. You are actually feeling the painter, feeling what they felt when they created it. You may interpret it in different ways, but understand you are feeling the artists themselves. And this is why it's so scary when people create a piece of art, whether it's a statue, whether it is a piece of choreography, whether it is a painting, whether it's a screenplay, because this is who they are. This is their energy. This is their energetic stamp, and we're feeling it and we're judging it. Right? So when you send something, make sure you're really focused on what it is you're sending, even if it's to multiple people. So when I send a text out at, say, Thanksgiving, I always find a little post, and I do that. I really think about which post it is, why I want to send it, who I want to send it to, and I'll always manipulate it so it becomes mine, right? So I'll take a post and then I will convert it in some way. So that to me is really, really important. You can, again, with the candle, etch it, put oils on it, do whatever you want, and then gift that away as well, right? So that's something that you can definitely do. These are all ways of activating, but make it really simple. Whatever you have in your home, or whether it's the home itself, all you have to do is say these words. This is the new thing that I do. I ask and give permission to all those of the light to activate all those things in my home, the people within it, the property, all those I love, all those who need, all those who are wanting, the animals, the earth, all those who have crossed over and beyond, this and something more. Within them all, I activate and activate this holiday season and the energy of it. Love, light, friendship, happiness, hope. This and something better. Oh. So now not only is this active, but everything in my home is active. And I can actually feel that. It's kind of buzzing right now. And what's really cool is my cat's looking around. She's like, what's going on? What's going on? And I love that. That's the other thing too. If you want to know if it's working and you have an animal, watch the animal. They will respond to it in some way. And if you don't have an animal, no. What's the worst that can happen? Nothing. But the best that can happen is you've done something empowering for yourself, loving for others. You've healed someone and the earth. This is what it's about. And you've connected. In this year, it's important to know that you've connected. So let's see, what have we got here? I'm looking for questions now. If anybody has a question, we've got a few more minutes. I would love questions. What are your questions? Debbie says, I'm so touched. Thank you. A little happy tear. Oh my God. Love you. Love you, love my creation. I absolutely do. And again, that picture was just amazing. Chris said something. Let me find Chris's thing. Chris was saying, cred on the muffins. Where did it go? Oh, I can't even look for it. Hold on. I'm looking for, there we go. Questions are coming in now. I don't like the way it does it. Charlie says, I'm with my mom, and she'd like to know if her late husband has any messages from her. Again, I feel smile. Um, I feel he knows how much she misses him. He knows how much she misses him, but it's okay. He loves you anyway. Um, you're always here with him. Uh, he's looking after the kids. I love the kids. That's what I feel. There's a love of the children. He's smiling. He's saying it's okay. It's okay. And he didn't think he knew you were going to miss him. Just he didn't think you would miss him this much. That kind of thing. He wants to be with you, and he will be with you. So don't worry about that. He's got a place sitting for you beside him, and that's going to be there. This Christmas, you'll hear bells on Christmas Eve. Know that that's from him. Okay, bells on Christmas Eve. So that could be any time during the day, but they're going to be bells. Those are special for you. Okay, so that's your angel with the bells. So that's for you. And then we have, let's see. Christine says, my youngest has had stomach issues since August. They have done test after test, but they continue. Any ideas? Also, my love life, is there ever going to anything happen? Well, I'm going to address one because we have so many questions coming in. My youngest has stomach issues. That feels... I don't know why I keep getting that, but try like a parasitic cleanse, like something, I don't know if it's over the counter, you can go to a naturopath, but I don't even feel that that's necessary. Also, he's stressing. I feel like your youngest is definitely stressing, and you need to talk to him. You know what would work for you? Agrimony Bach remedy, and I'm going to write this down for you. Agrimony Bach remedy, because he needs to talk and he doesn't know how to tell you what's going on in his life right now. And as he expresses himself, that's really going to help. So a couple of drops in your hand, just kind of tousle his hair, shovel his hair with it. Just get it into his energy field. He actually doesn't need to ingest that. Okay. Let me see. Who else have we got today? Let's see who we've got today. Oh boy, we've got lots. This is awesome. I have such a hard time beginning. If I don't get to you today, I am sorry. You can always get a reading with me, even if it's a 15-minute reading, raisingenergy.com. We do have gift certificates for Christmas this year. So if you want to gift yourself or somebody else with a pet reading or a personal reading or both, that is something you can do at raisingenergy.com. Hang on a second. Wait a second. I actually have that there. Oh, okay, I don't. Yeah, so gift certificates at raisingenergy.com are also available. Chris, hi, Angel. If you're drawn, I would love to know if you have any messages from my dog, Rosie, who passed. Well, obviously I am, because I've been looking for your thing. I keep hearing laughter, like if a dog could laugh. I get a mischievous dog. I get a light around it, really a lightness around it. I get light around it. I get happiness around it. I get joy around it. I get left leg is much better now. Thank you. I don't know what that means, but that's what I hear. It was so restful after just as she passed. You could feel her body lying down, and oh boy, did she ever feel good. Like it was such a good passing. It just felt so warm and cozy. Like, when you have a blanket over you in the morning, you don't want to get out of bed. That's what passing felt like for her. Okay. She knows that sometimes you don't know she's there, but she is. So just understand she comes to look over you. And I feel like you have other animals now, but I feel like the animals know. So pay attention to your animals. Okay. Pay more attention that way. All right. We are 2 minutes into the end of our show, or we've got 2 minutes before the end of our show. I want to thank everybody for coming today. In December, we have something special happening on our Instagram. So please give us a follow at Raising Energy, because I think you're really going to like it. We might even have a gift giveaway. We might have a lot of things that are going to be happening in December at Raising Energy on our Instagram. If you want to know more about us, it's raisingenergy.com. If you want to know more about our show, it's raisingenergy / my-show. If you want to know about living energetically, there's a blog that I write, and it's called mypsychiclifestyle.com. Thank you for joining me today, and I am Angel Morgan. You'll be able to see this later on. I put this on my YouTube channel, and I hope you guys have a great week. Next week, we have a wonderful guest, Sonia Davidson. She is one of the top bloggers in Toronto, and she is going to be joining us to talk about her experiences and the holiday season and how we can enhance that in unique and different ways, again, but differently from a different pair of eyes. So please join us next week. We're going to have a lot of fun, and we'll see you on my show.